Welcome to the Secure Circle Show, where we empower you with the knowledge to protect yourself against fraud, identity theft, and cyber threats. In this podcast, we delve into the critical issues surrounding cybersecurity in our increasingly digital world. Each episode features insightful discussions, expert interviews, and actionable tips that will help you and your loved ones stay safe online. From understanding the latest scams to learning how to secure your personal information, our goal is to create a community that prioritizes cybersecurity. Whether you're a seasoned tech enthusiast or just starting your journey to online safety, the Secure Circle Show is here to guide you. Let's jump in.
Okay, let's unpack this. It's quite a statistic to start with. Every year, millions of older Americans become victims of financial fraud. And the losses, they're over $3 billion.
Billion with a B.
Yeah, it's staggering. Really brings home the scale of it. This is a crisis.
It absolutely is. And, it's not just isolated cases here and there. It's pervasive. So in this deep dive, we're focusing on elder fraud.
Right.
We're drawing heavily on information from the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, to really understand how these scams work.
And crucially, what you can actually do about it. How to protect yourself, how to protect people you care about.
Exactly. Because, this really matters for everyone, either for yourself, maybe down the road, or for parents, grandparents, maybe even just a neighbor you look out for.
Understanding it is key. So our goal today is, well, pretty clear, I think. We want to really get a handle on the tactics these criminals use, understand why seniors are targeted so often, and then give you, the listener, some really practical steps, things you can do to avoid becoming a victim and know what to do if, heaven forbid, it happens.
And if you think about the wider picture, well, society's changing, isn't it? We have an aging population, more people living longer.
Right.
And technology, online communication, it's everywhere, which unfortunately just creates, well, more avenues for this kind of exploitation.
So the big question then, why? Why older adults specifically? It's quite upsetting when you look at the reasons.
Well, the FBI points to a few things. Often, older individuals might come from a generation that values politeness, trust.
Yeah, maybe more trusting by nature.
Kind of, and unfortunately, scammers exploit that. They twist that trusting nature. Plus, statistically speaking, seniors are more likely to have built up savings over their lifetime.
Okay.
They might own their home, have good credit. So from a criminal's point of view, they're potentially a more lucrative target.
And it's not just about the money itself, is it? There's like an emotional side too. Social dynamic.
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge part of it. A major hurdle is the fact that these crimes often go unreported.
Why is that?
Well, think about it. There's a sense of shame, embarrassment at being tricked.
I can imagine.
Yeah. And many seniors might not know who to turn to, or they worry. They worry that if they admit they were scammed, their family might think they can't manage their own finances anymore.
Oh, right. That fear of losing independence.
Exactly. And that silence just helps the criminals, unfortunately. And, even if they do report it, sometimes recalling all the specific details investigators need. That can be tough.
Okay, yeah, I see. It's a complex picture. So let's dig into the scams themselves then, the actual methods. It's honestly kind of shocking how creative, or maybe devious is the better word.
Devious is definitely the word. The variety is. Oh, well, it's concerning. Let's start with one we hear about a lot, the romance scam.
Ah, yes. Exploiting loneliness.
Precisely. It taps into that basic human need for connection, for companionship. Scammers create fake profiles online, maybe on dating sites, social media. They build up this emotional connection, sometimes over weeks or months. And then, inevitably...
comes the ask for money.
Exactly. Suddenly, there's an emergency, a crisis, some urgent financial need. And because that emotional bond is there, well, it's manipulation, pure and simple.
Heartbreaking, really.
Yeah.
To prey on someone looking for connection like that. Okay, what's next? Tech support scams. I think I've actually gotten calls like that.
Oh, they're very common. Someone calls, or maybe a pop-up appears on your computer claiming to be from Microsoft or Apple or some big tech company.
Right, your computer has a virus.
Exactly, or some major security flaw. They sound very official, very urgent. They want you to give them remote access to your computer, supposedly to fix the problem.
But that's not the real reason.
No. The real goal is usually to steal personal information, bank details, passwords, or install malware. Nasty software that can, lock up your computer or spy on you. They prey on people's lack of technical know-how.
And create panic.
Yeah.
Okay, then there's the grandparent scam. That one feels particularly cruel.
It's a really low blow. The scammer calls, pretending to be a grandchild, maybe another relative, and they sound distressed, panicked. They'll say they're in trouble, maybe an accident, arrested, stranded somewhere, and they need money wired immediately.
And they often say, don't tell mom and dad.
Yes, that's a key part of it. Keep it secret. It plays on that deep family bond, that urge to help your loved one, and the urgency bypasses logical thinking. Pure emotional manipulation.
It really seems like playing on emotions is the common thread here. What about government impersonation? Those sound scary.
They can be very intimidating. Scammers pose as officials, maybe IRS agents, Social Security folks, even law enforcement, and they'll threaten you. Say you owe back taxes, or there's a problem with your Social Security number, and if you don't pay immediately, you'll be arrested or face some dire legal consequence.
Using fear of authority.
Exactly. Fear and intimidation. Then you've got the ones that dangle a prize, sweepstakes, lotteries, or fake charities.
Right, the lure of getting something for nothing or appealing to your good nature.
Precisely. They might say you've won a huge foreign lottery, but you just need to pay a small processing fee or tax up front to collect your winnings, which of course don't exist.
Or they call asking for donations for a charity that sounds real but isn't.
Or it is a real charity name, but the person calling has no connection to them. They just pocket the money. It taps into hope, greed sometimes, but also generosity.
Okay, what about scams that happen in person, like home repairs?
Yes, the home repair scam. Someone might knock on your door, notice something wrong with your roof or driveway, offer a great deal to fix it today only. They often demand payment up front, then they either do a terrible job, use cheap materials, or just disappear with the money. That face-to-face element can make it seem more legitimate to some people.
And even things like TV or radio ads, can those be scams?
Sometimes, yes. You might see ads for things like reverse mortgages or credit repair services. They might sound legitimate, but the terms could be predatory, full of hidden fees, or they just don't deliver what they promise.
Wow, okay. And finally, this one's really sad. Scams by family members or caregivers.
Yeah, this is probably the most devastating emotionally. It involves relatives or sometimes hired caregivers, people in a position of trust, taking advantage of an older person's vulnerability for financial gain.
That's just a profound betrayal.
It truly is. It can be outright theft or sometimes more subtle manipulation of finances over time. It really highlights how deep that breach of trust can cut.
Okay, it's a lot.
Yeah.
A really concerning landscape. So the crucial part, what can people actually do? What's the FBI advice for protecting yourself, protecting your loved ones?
Right, the practical steps. And the FBI is very clear on this. First, and maybe most important, learn to recognize the signs. If something feels off, if someone's pressuring you.
Trust your gut.
Yes. And end the communication. Don't argue, don't engage. Just hang up the phone, delete the email, close the door, cut off contact immediately.
Easier said than done sometimes, maybe, if they're very convincing.
It can be. Which leads to the second tip. Create a family password. A simple word or phrase that only your close family knows.
How does that work?
Well, if you get a call, supposedly from a grandchild in trouble asking for money, you ask them for the password, if they can't give it.
Then you know it's not really them. That's smart. Simple but effective.
Very. Another tool is, believe it or not, a quick online search. If someone contacts you with an offer or a specific name or phone number, Google it.
See if others have reported it as a scam.
Exactly. You'd be surprised how often you'll find warnings from other people who've encountered the same scam attempt. It leaves a digital footprint.
Okay, good tip. And you mentioned pressure earlier. That sense of urgency.
Resist it. Always. Scammers want you to act fast, without thinking, without checking with anyone. Legitimate organizations rarely, if ever, demand immediate action or payment like that.
So act now, or else is a major warning sign.
Huge warning sign. And, if a situation ever feels physically threatening, someone at your door who won't leave, don't hesitate. Call the police. Your safety comes first.
Absolutely.
And just generally, be really cautious about unsolicited contacts. Unexpected phone calls, letters, emails, people knocking on your door. Be skeptical. Reputable companies don't usually operate that way.
So the bottom line is really about safeguarding your information and money.
Absolutely fundamental. Never, ever give out personal information like your social security number, bank account numbers, credit card details, or send money, gold, jewelry, gift cards, wire transfers, checks to anyone you haven't personally verified as completely legitimate.
That's like they initiated the contact.
Precisely. And this includes online, too, of course.
Okay, what about the tech side? Our computers, our phones?
Very important. Keep your security software up to date. Antivirus, anti-malware, use reputable programs, make sure your firewall is turned on. And if you get one of those scary pop-ups that takes over your screen or says you're locked out, don't click anything in it. Disconnect your computer from the internet immediately, then shut it down completely.
Why disconnect from the internet?
It stops any potential malicious software from communicating back to the scammer or downloading more harmful stuff. Pop-up blockers in your browser can help prevent some of these too.
Got it. And just being careful what we click on generally. Emails, attachments.
Oh, definitely. Be super wary of email attachments, especially from senders you don't know, or even forwarded emails with attachments you don't know their origin. Don't download things carelessly.
And if the worst happens,
Yeah.
if you suspect your device or an account has been compromised,
Act fast. Contact your bank, your credit card companies. Tell them what happened. Put alerts on your accounts. Monitor your statements really closely for any transactions you don't recognize. Protect your identity.
okay, so that's prevention. But what if someone or someone you know does fall victim? What's the next step then? Reporting it.
Yes. Reporting is crucial, even if you feel embarrassed or even if the amount lost seems small.
Where do you report it?
The primary place the FBI directs people is their Internet Crime Complaint Center. That's ic3.gov, ic3.gov.
ic3.gov.
Okay.
File a complaint there and do it regardless of how much money was involved. Every single report helps them build cases, track these criminals, and maybe prevent it from happening to someone else.
Makes sense. What kind of information do they need for the report?
As much detail as possible, really. The name of the scammer, if you have it, any company names they used, the dates you were contacted.
How they contacted you?
Yes. Methods of communication, phone numbers they used, email addresses, any websites they directed you to, even physical addresses if mail was involved.
Right.
How you paid them. Was it a wire transfer? Gift cards? Check. Provide details about where the money went, bank names, account numbers if you have them for wire transfers, the numbers on prepaid cards. Right. The money trail.
Exactly. Also, describe your interactions. What did they say? What instructions did they give you? And critically, keep everything.
Like emails, records.
Yes. Keep original emails, any faxes, notes you took during phone calls, logs of communication. Documentation is incredibly helpful for investigators.
Okay, that's very clear. Provide as much detail and evidence as you possibly can to ic3.gov.
Right?
So wrapping this all up then, what are the absolute key things we need to take away from this?
Well, I think there are a few main points. First, just recognizing that elder fraud is, it's a huge, serious problem. Millions of victims, billions lost. It's not rare.
Right, it's prevalent.
Second, understanding why seniors are often targeted that mix of trust, potential assets, and sometimes factors like isolation or reluctance to report. Third, knowing the common types of scams. Romance, tech support, grandparent, all those variations we discussed. Being aware of the tactics.
Forewarned is forearmed.
Exactly. And finally, and maybe most importantly, knowing there are concrete steps you can take to protect yourself. The passwords, the skepticism, the online checks, the security software, and knowing how to report it effectively through ic3.gov if it does happen.
Absolutely. And I really think the biggest weapon we have against this is awareness, isn't it? Just talking about it, sharing this kind of information with family, with friends, in our communities, making sure people know what to look out for. That feels like the first best line of defense. Empowering people.
It really does. And, that leads to maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to mull over. Beyond these specific scams and tactics we talked about, what underlying things in our society might contribute to older adults being vulnerable in the first place? Are there broader community things we could be doing to address not just the scams, but the root vulnerabilities?
That's a deep question. Thinking beyond just the crime itself to the societal context. Something definitely worth considering. Thank you. This has been incredibly insightful and frankly really important information.
Glad we could cover it. It's a vital conversation to have.